Have you ever woken up, checked your blood sugar, and thought, but I ate so carefully yesterday. Why is it still high today? It's a frustration so many of us feel after 50 when our bodies start handling carbohydrates differently. But here's the surprising news. Doctors are paying attention to a food you probably already have in your kitchen. Not an exotic herb or a pricey supplement, just the humble onion. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how onions may help steady your blood sugar, which types give you the biggest benefits, easy ways to add them to your meals, and when to be cautious. Because managing blood sugar isn't about magic, it's about simple, consistent habits. Once we pass 50, even if we eat the same foods we did in our 30s, our blood sugar often doesn't respond the same way. Why? First, our bodies naturally become a bit more resistant to insulin, the hormone that helps move sugar from the bloodstream into our cells. At the same time, we slowly lose muscle mass if we're not staying active, and muscle is one of the biggest users of glucose. Less muscle means sugar lingers in the blood longer. Add in slower digestion, more medications, disrupted sleep, and the everyday stress of life, and those glucose spikes become harder to control. That's why small daily food choices like adding the right vegetables can make such a meaningful difference over time. So what makes onions special when it comes to blood sugar? It comes down to their unique combination of nutrients and plant compounds. First, onions are a low glycemic food. That means they don't cause a rapid spike in blood sugar the way starchy foods do. They're considered a non-starchy vegetable, so they're gentle on your glucose response. Second, onions are rich in prebiotic fibers like inulin and fructans. These fibers feed the healthy bacteria in your gut, which in turn produce short-chain fatty acids. Those fatty acids have been linked to better insulin sensitivity and smoother blood sugar control. Third, onions contain a powerful flavonoid called quercetin. It's most concentrated in red onions and in the outer layers. Quercetin is a strong antioxidant that has been studied for its role in supporting healthy blood vessels and improving how our body uses glucose. Together, these qualities make onions more than just flavor in your cooking. They can be a small but steady ally in your journey to manage blood sugar after 50. Now, you might be wondering, this all sounds promising, but what does the science actually say about onions and blood sugar? Let's start with quercetin, that plant compound found in onions. Several high-quality studies and meta-analyses have shown that quercetin supplements can lead to modest reductions in fasting blood sugar, especially in adults who already have insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. The changes aren't dramatic, but even small improvements repeated daily add up over time. There's also direct research on onions themselves. In a small human study, participants with both type 1 and type 2 diabetes ate about 100 grams of raw red onion, roughly 1 medium onion. The result? Noticeable reductions in fasting glucose and improvements in their blood sugar curves after meals compared with controls. Of course, this was a preliminary study, but it's an encouraging sign. And onions don't stop there. Trials using quercetin extracted from onion skins have shown improvements in blood pressure, which is important because blood pressure and blood sugar often go hand in hand. Finally, studies on onions' prebiotic fibers like inulin suggest they may help reshape the gut microbiome in ways that support insulin sensitivity. So while onions won't replace medications or lifestyle changes, the evidence suggests they can be a helpful part of the bigger picture. So how do onions actually help your body handle blood sugar? Let's break it down simply. First, some of the plant compounds in onions like quercetin appear to slow the enzymes that break down carbohydrates in your gut. That means the sugar from bread, rice, or pasta enters your bloodstream more gradually instead of all at once. Second, the prebiotic fibers in onions act like fuel for your good gut bacteria. As these microbes thrive, they release short-chain fatty acids. These little byproducts don't just stay in your gut, they travel through your system and can actually improve how your cells respond to insulin. Third, onions seem to support healthier blood vessels and circulation. When your blood pressure is steadier and your vessels are more flexible, glucose has an easier time moving into your muscles where it's needed for energy. Put together, these effects create a more balanced, less spiky blood sugar response after meals. Now the big question: how much onion do you actually need to eat to see benefits? Most studies suggest that even half to 1 cup of cooked onion a day, or about 1/4 to half a cup raw, can be helpful. That's roughly 1 medium onion spread across your meals. Both red and yellow onions are great choices. Red onions may carry a bit more quercetin, especially in their outer layers, while yellow onions are often sweeter and easier to cook with. What about cooking raw onions? Keep the most antioxidants, but sautéed or roasted onions are much gentler on digestion and they still offer prebiotic fibers and other benefits. Onion powder can be a convenient option too. Just make sure to check the label for added salt. And remember, food first. Supplements like quercetin are being studied, but always talk to your doctor before adding pills to your routine. To make this practical, here's a simple 7-day plan to help you ease onions into your routine without overwhelming your meals or your digestion. Day 1, try a tuna and bean salad with a 1/4 cup of thinly sliced raw red onion, lemon, and olive oil. The protein and fiber help balance the meal. Day 2, make a hearty turkey chili starting with a full cup of sautéed yellow onion, along with peppers, tomatoes, and beans. Day 3, add a 1/4 cup of caramelized onions and spinach into your morning omelet, served with a handful of berries. Day 4, roast salmon alongside thick wedges of onion and zucchini, then finish with a drizzle of olive oil and lemon. Day 5, pair cottage cheese with cherry tomatoes and a spoonful of pickled onions. Rinse them first to reduce extra sodium. Day 6, enjoy a lentil and barley soup, starting with 3/4 of a cup of onions as the flavor base and finish with a splash of apple cider vinegar. And Day 7, make a Greek-style salad with cucumber, tomato, a 1/4 cup of raw onion, olives, and feta cheese. For even better results, pair onion-rich meals with a short 10 to 15-minute walk afterward. Movement helps your muscles soak up glucose more effectively. Let's bring it all together with 2 simple recipes you can make this week. They're designed to be easy, delicious, and gentle on your blood sugar. Golden onion and white bean soup serving 4. Start by slicing 2 medium onions and sautéing them in a little olive oil until soft and golden. Add a clove of garlic if you like, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, then pour in 4 cups of low-sodium broth. Stir in 1 can of rinsed white beans and a handful of kale. Let it simmer for 10 minutes. Before serving, squeeze in some lemon juice and crack a little pepper on top. This soup is high in fiber and protein, while the lemon adds a touch of acidity to help flatten glucose spikes. Now for roasted red onion and salmon tray bake serving 2. Cut 1 large red onion into wedges and toss it with broccoli florets and olive oil. Roast at 425 degrees for about 15 minutes. Then add 2 salmon fillets and cook for another 10 to 12 minutes. Finish with a quick vinaigrette made of Dijon mustard and lemon juice. This dish combines protein-healthy fats and fiber with the antioxidant power of onions, perfect for a steady, satisfying dinner. Onions do a lot on their own, but pairing them wisely can make their benefits even stronger. Always combine onions with protein or healthy fat. Think eggs, salmon beans, or a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. These slow digestion and keep blood sugar steadier. Add a splash of acidity like lemon juice or vinegar, which can modestly reduce post-meal spikes and brighten onion-based dishes beautifully. Use onion's natural sweetness to your advantage. A bit of caramelized onion can replace sugar in sauces or marinades, cutting empty carbs without losing flavor. And finally, surround onions with fiber-rich foods like lentils, leafy greens, or barley to give your blood sugar even more support. Even though onions are healthy for most people, they're not perfect for everyone. Onions are high in FODMAPs, certain fibers that can trigger gas, bloating, or discomfort for people with sensitive guts or IBS. If that's you, try onion-infused olive oil or start with very small amounts to test your tolerance. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, consistency in your diet matters. The good news is, onions are naturally low in vitamin K, so they don't usually interfere. But any big change in your vegetable intake is worth mentioning to your healthcare team. Raw onions can sometimes worsen acid reflux or heartburn. If that's an issue, cooked onions are much gentler. And yes, some people have true onion allergies or intolerances, rare but possible. If you notice unusual symptoms, it's best to stop and check with your doctor. Remember, food can be powerful, but it works best when it fits safely into your personal health plan. Let's clear up a few common questions quickly. Can onions replace my diabetes medication? No. They're a food-based helper, not a substitute for medication or medical care. Raw or cooked, which is better? Raw onions keep more antioxidants like quercetin, but cooked onions are easier on digestion. Both are good. Red or yellow onions, doesn't matter, use whichever you enjoy. Red onions tend to have a little more quercetin in the outer layers, while yellow onions are sweeter and versatile. What about onion powder? It can be convenient, but check the label. Many blends have added salt. Do I need quercetin supplements? Most people don't. Some studies use 150 to 500 milligrams daily, but food first is the best approach. Always ask your doctor before trying pills. So let's wrap this up. Onions aren't magic, but they're a simple, affordable food that can help. They're low on the glycemic index, packed with prebiotic fiber that supports gut health, and rich in quercetin, a plant compound linked to steadier blood sugar and healthier blood vessels. The key is consistency. A little onion added to your meals each day, whether raw in a salad, sautéed in a soup, or roasted with your dinner, can contribute to smoother blood sugar and better overall health after 50. Here's your action step. Pick just one idea from today's 7-day plan and try it at your next meal. Then notice how you feel, and if you track your glucose, check your numbers after. And finally, I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite way to cook with onions? Share it in the comments below.